Hi guys. Like we said, I don't know, we didn't have a class today. Um, we the online classes are really time involving, so sometimes it's hard to do 5 hours and then come back to do another 2 hours. But we'll get back on track. Unfortunately, we had some people falling off from the schedule we had. I thought we'll only do 4 classes, but there's still about 6 people who I need to schedule them another weekend. I'll have to work around or see because I'm fully booked. So I need to see who I'll need to talk to and see we schedule one training and then do this one. But I'll let you guys know. But I wanted to talk about CPR, uh, not just CPR. I wanted to talk about the indicators that are showing you the levels where you're expecting that stock to go for the week or for the month. And one of them is the CPR, where you have the weekly CPR. It shows you where this stock, especially for Monday when it updates, and you're looking for narrow CPR. Then if a stock doesn't have a narrow CPR, it has a medium CPR, or a wide CPR, you can still trade that stock. It depends with, is it above CPR, low CPR? So when every Monday, if you're looking at the levels and you see a stock just from the weekly CPR, it's telling you these are the levels it's going to. So from here, from Monday, we knew when SPY hits, it's above 417, it's going to go to 420, 430, 436. And we see that's what it did. So you want to have indicators that show you where you are anticipating that stock to go to. So the CPR is one of it. You can either be looking at because some stocks we've seen them breaking the weekly CPR. So it updates every Monday, but you can also look at the monthly CPR. You're sleeping. You can also look at the monthly CPR. So you turn this off and then you turn on the monthly CPR. Because this one gives you the levels for the entire month. So from there, it updates from the first of the month. Then it shows you these are the levels you're watching for the entire month. So it means above CPR, above 423, our next level was 434. And you see, we went all the way to 434. So if you're getting a call here, when it's above CPR, you're holding to R1, then it's also telling you if we keep going on in this month, if we keep on with the bullish trend, this SPY can head back to 450. And then if it breaks above 450, it is headed to 463. So I want people to know which levels you're anticipating this stock to go to. It will stop I know people want to do the everyday lottos, but when you're buying now, you're buying time. This is showing you where this stock is headed to, if it's bullish, and where it's headed if bearish. So if you had broken below, if you had stayed below 420, were to head down to this. But because we went above the CPR, that it means this entire month, these are the levels you're watching for. I need people to plan ahead. That way, you know I'm buying time. So if you had bought time here, we were anticipating for last week to be bullish, you would have come here and looked. This CPR, it's above CPR, so this SPY is headed to 434. And you can see we hit that 434. We came from this CPR on Wednesday. This is on Wednesday first, the beginning. This is a monthly CPR. And we went all the way to R1. This is the monthly R1, monthly R2, monthly R3. So for those people who are having a hard time holding, just look at where is this stock headed. That's your part of your criteria when you're doing your lists on the stocks to trade. You're looking at where is this stock headed, and it's for any stock, not just SPY, any stock. Is it above CPR? It is. Like here, ADB, it was above CPR, is 430, 439. If it's above 439, the next level is 469. And you see, it almost touched 469 on Friday. Okay? So if it breaks 469, it's telling you in the month, it can go all the way to 606. You're already anticipating. So if you have bought your calls here, you're not worried here. You're holding up to here, at least R1. That's where you're taking your profit. Okay? So any stock, even especially the ones reporting earnings, you want to know where is this stock headed back to. Okay? So for Roku, it was when the month started, it was below. So even if you didn't swing this, it hit R1, 71, R2, 84, it's headed to R3, 92. Okay, so if you are getting a call here, you know I'm holding up to 83, and I can still hold up to 80, 92. So if you have multiple contracts, you can say I'll be taking profit here and then leaving runners, then take profit to the next target level. So this was your trading with, you have an eye of where this stock is headed. Okay, so please don't just look at the weekly. Look at also at the monthly CPR, because it's telling you the entire month where that's the expectation where this stock is headed. Okay, and especially also for stocks that they went down considerably, the renewable energy stocks. So this one, it reported earnings here, especially for post-year. This can be really good. Okay, so it was below CPR, you went above CPR, and then now it's headed to R1. So you don't only have to wait for the weekly CPR, you can still look at the monthly CPR to guide you. Okay, so that's one thing, you look at the CPR. The next thing, you can go here, turn this off, and then you want to see either the week low or the week high. So when the week started, what is the low, what is the high? That stock, if it's below the week low, this is the week low. If it's below the week low, it's bearish, is going down. If it's above the week high, it's bullish, is going up. But if it's rejecting going down, then you're feeling that gap. If you're seeing this gap, please just know you're going to feel this gap from this low to the high. That's where the stocks go back to where they came from. So if it came from this level 158, it's headed back to here. I want people to have a view of where a stock is headed so that it helps people to hold contracts with confidence. You're not selling and panicking because you still have this stock is telling you I'm still going up. Okay, if we look at this at SPY, so this is where from last week Monday, it was telling you if SPY doesn't go below 409, it's headed back to 424. So that's the week. If you turn back to the month, now you see when we went above the 424, we continued with the bullish trend because we broke above this resistance. We continued with the bullish trend. If we are breaking below this other week, we broke below it, we went on with the bearish continuation. Okay, so that's for the week. You can still do the same. Come here and do for them for the month. You have a view of where, I don't want the daily, I want the month. Okay? You have a view of where this stock is headed. So for the month, it was still the same 409, but because we rejected 409, we were headed back to 438. And this updates itself every beginning of the month because this is the month. So you want to have a view of the week, and you also want to have a view of the long term, the month. And if you replay this, you will see this thing. So this was the previous month. This was on Wednesday before market open, the 1st November month, the November 1st. Okay, so if you play this, taking time before it updates. All the indicators disappeared. Hold on. Yeah, it disappeared. I don't know if it doesn't want to be replayed. Okay, so I'll leave it there and then change the time frame. What happened? Okay, let me put it back. The month. Okay. Let's see if it will replay that in the middle. Okay. Oh, it doesn't want to replay. So it doesn't want to replay. But okay. So if you look at this, it started from October 2nd to October 30th. No, so went all the way to the last day of October. Then this one started from November. So this is there, the beginning of the month to the next month. So we came from when October started, we were actually headed to this level. We touched it, and then we didn't go all the way back to 453. We were just here, and then we went back down below it, 422. Then we had the bearish continuation. So when you're below this level, you have bearish continuation. Now, if the month begins, you're above this, then it means you're going back to this level. So if you're getting your calls here on Wednesday, okay, when we started a new month, you would have held your calls to head back to 438. And you see, we are so close to it. So from this 411 or 418 on the Wednesday, it was Wednesday, we were headed back to 438. So I want people to have a visual. So you can have a visual of the weekly, you can have a visual of the month. Where is this stock headed back to? The same thing for QQQ. When the month started, we were either going to go to this 342 or we were going back to 373. We hit 369 on Friday. That's just almost 4 points away, which this can be hit by the time the market opens on Monday. So you can imagine here, this is telling you, I'm not going down, I'm going back up to fill this level. So stocks go back to where they came from. So we came from 373, we went down to 342 at some point. We're going back to 373. So have a visual. Okay, so that's one, the CPR. That's how you use it. The next one, I know I've talked about this with some people, but when we were in TWR, I talked about order blocks. Okay, so you want to know where those order blocks are. Now you have to, it will show you when you have a bullish order block or a bearish order block. So if you are the lines, you have the low, the bearish order block is blue. You have the low and the high, and you have a bullish order block. Okay. Okay. So you have to change your time frame. So if you're on the 1 hour time frame, if this is telling you it's a bullish order block or it's a bearish order block, the bearish order block also becomes your buying point. If you're not going below, if it's not selling below it, then it means you're going back up. But you want to have a visual. Where is this stock headed back? What is the next order block? You want to know where the next order block is. So you want to go to a higher time frame. Now, do you see this was the order block at 269? I don't know if this will let me replay. Okay. So this was October 11th, sorry, October 18th here. So we went down. We had a bearish order block. We came down. So it means if this stock is done going down, it will come back to the same order blocks. If you guys read about how these big money traders, how they do trade, they usually have set prices. This is why we call them the order blocks. They have either a buying order block or a selling order block. They sell in blocks, big numbers. So if a stock is going back up, it will go back to this same order block. So if we stop going down and we're going back up, this is where I want people to see where a stock is headed back to. So here, this one is and it will show you, I know they are late, but I want you to use them as where is this stock headed back to. So you're either using CPR, it's showing you where this stock is headed back to, the weekly and the monthly, or you're using this order block where we had previously, it was a sell bearish order block. When you're going back up, you're going back to the same order block level. Okay, so you have to keep changing to a higher time frame to find those order blocks. If you're scalping, if you're above this, you're bullish or going up, and it will keep showing you bullish order block. If this stock goes back down, if QQQ is coming back down, you know you'll come back to the same bearish order block. Okay, so that's one. That's another one. The settings don't change. Or you can use this where you see demand and supply, the one I've given you guys earlier. You want to have a visual of if this stock is going back, where is it going back to? And you want to have it mostly on a higher time frame. Now you have to change your color. So this one, the demand is blue. You can change it to green. That's why my colors don't show when I'm. You can change it to green, and then this one. The supply, we're changing it to red. Now, on a lower time frame, you see a lot of it. You want to know on a higher time frame. Okay, you want to have a visual on a higher time frame. This was a supply. The red one is a supply, and this was another supply. If we had broken below this, we would have continued going down. But this one changed from being a supply also to a demand. So if you're coming from here, you're going to feel that gap. You're going back to the same supply zone. You're going back to the same. Have a visual of where this stock is headed back to. It's headed back to this same level. You have to look at it on a higher time frame. You can even go to weekly and see where is this? This is a supply zone. We came back to this is a demand zone. Okay, so this was a demand zone. We filled this gap from the beginning of the year. You would have looked at this and you'd have known QQQ is going back to this same level where it came from. This was supply zone, we came down. This was demand, we're going up, we went up, filled this gap. Have a visual of where this stock is headed back to. Whether you're using daily or you're using 4-hour, it must be on a lower time frame, you'll see a lot of it. But on a higher time frame, you're seeing here, we came from this, we came down, and we are going back to the same. If we continue, we'll go to this one and then this one. Have a visual for any stock you're trading. Have a visual. It will give you that confidence to hold your contracts, and that's what you want. Okay, so we came from here, we came down. So this was 27. This became a demand zone. We're going back to the same zone. So we've gone back to the same level. So if you're getting your calls, you're holding. There's no need to panic and sell. This even can give you a clue of when to buy time. Okay, so we came from here. This was the next one. On the 4-hour, we don't have any here. So if you're not seeing anything on the 4-hour, go to a higher time frame. You will always find a demand zone or a supply zone in the next higher time frame. Okay. Always have a visual of where this stock is headed back to. It will give you confidence to hold. So now here, we look at PDD. On the daily, this is a demand zone. Okay. If you're not seeing any supply zone, move to a lower time frame. You see where it's headed back to? So it means if it breaks out of this level, as much as you're seeing it's a huge gap, it will fill that gap. It will fill that gap. From 109, it meant at some point, this PDD came from that level and dropped all the way down. That's what we saw during COVID, post-COVID, or during COVID times. These stocks were high up there. They were high up, and then they came down, and then now they're going back up. So if you're seeing it's a demand zone, you're going up. If you're seeing this supply zone is a huge gap, that gap will be filled because that stock will go back to where it came from. So you can always go to a different time frame to find those zones in between. Okay, so from here, this day, we came from this. This was also previously a supply zone. So now your supply zone becomes your resistance. You're headed back to that level. So we didn't break it. We came down to another one here, a tiny one. Okay, then we went back to this, came down, went back, we rejected this. There was a demand zone here, went back to this level. So you can use this, it's a visual. So this is telling us if we are breaking above this, we will be headed back to this zone. It will fill that gap, it will go back to that zone. Okay, so always know where this stock is headed. Have a view of where this stock is headed to on a higher time frame. It gives you confidence to hold. So Lulu, if it's not going there, then you're anticipating it will go back. This is what happened. We came from this demand zone. We filled this gap here. We were supposed to go to 439. We didn't go. We rejected it. We went back this. We broke it. We didn't go to this demand zone. We went back again. We came down. We consolidated. We went back. Okay. So it's telling you if we keep going up, it can fill that gap to 439. You see, this is a demand zone. So if you want to know, for those people who want to swing or hold, please use this demand zone or where there's order block or the CPR, showing you where this stock is headed to. So from here, we have this, the same 439. Okay. So here, if you had gotten your calls here, you'll be holding, anticipating this is where it's headed. Okay, so that's for the demand and supply zone. The next one, I know people are saying they're having a hard time with SARI, but I want to explain it again. When you go to the settings, it's giving you a trading style, trading type. Are you day trading? It will give you levels for day trading. Are you multi-day? To give you levels that you'll be watching for 5 days. And if it's swing, those are levels you're watching for a whole month. So it's kind of like the CPR, just that it gives you ATR levels. So you want to be on a longer time frame. Always, you want to know where this stock is headed on a higher time frame. Okay? So this, like if you look at this, it has broken above this. So it means we should not be looking at the multi, we should be looking at the swing. Okay, so this was telling you from the beginning of the month, this is the low trigger. If this stock had gone below 380, it would have triggered going down. This is usually the previous close. And I spoke about this. If a stock is above the previous close, you're going up. If a stock is below the previous close, you're going down. If it triggers this lower level, then you're going to be having a bearish continuation. If it triggers the upper level, the 406, then you're going to have a bullish continuation. Okay, so change these colors to colors that you can easily tell the ATR. So this is the ATR. These levels are based on ATR. So it means for the swing, Lulu can go up to 54 points because that's the swing ATR. That's the monthly ATR. If you're doing multi-day, it's the weekly ATR. If you're doing day, that's the daily ATR. So there's nothing, I don't know why people are saying it's confusing. The levels are not changing. If you're above the close, you're going up. If you're going below this, you're triggering, having a bearish continuation. You're going up, you're going down. If you're above this upper level trigger, you're having a bullish continuation. So you have a chance to go to fill the ATR level. It's going to 427. The next ATR level is 436, and the next one is 447. So you're not changing anything. Don't even change the settings. Just leave it the way it is. You're looking at from this close. Because if you change to another close, it will keep changing. The levels will keep changing. Just leave it the way it is. Okay? If you're looking at any stock that has reported ER, any stock that has reported earnings, you want to use the high levels, the want to use the swing or the multi. So these already, even with the stocks reporting earnings, when I tell you guys about CPR, I say, look at the monthly CPR because it's giving you, this stock has been trending down for months. So you're expecting it to fill those gaps. So we were above the close. We went up, we hit the upper level trigger, 67. The minute you are hitting an upper level trigger, you're expecting a bullish continuation. We continued up. We hit the ATR level here. The ATR, 50% of the ATR, 61% of the ATR. So this is utilizing Fibonacci together with ATR. This is 78% of the ATR. And then this is 100% of the ATR level. So these are the Fibonacci levels. If it's going 50%, was 77, we went above it. The next one was 61.8. The next one was 78.6. The next one was 94. So it's telling you on swing, the whole month, this Roku, the ATR is 35 points. So from wherever it's coming from, add 35. That's where it's headed. Okay, so It's telling you when it's getting calls above 67, this is the upper trigger. This is where it's telling you the upper trigger for the bullish continuation is 67. When it's above that, it's headed to 94. But as much as you're waiting for 94, you are using these Fibonacci levels to know your exit levels. So it broke the upper trigger for calls. And then if it's above this, it's a confirmation. If it's above the previous close, you're bullish. Then if it's triggering above the upper trigger, you can hold. It's a bullish continuation. If you're below the trigger, the close, you're bearish. When you're hitting this, you're looking at bearish continuation, the lower trigger. So don't be scared of this, Sari. You just need to understand how it works. You have to focus, know where this stock is headed. It gives you confidence to hold. Okay. Okay. So this, we were headed to the lower trigger. We rejected it. So the next is to go above the close. And then the minute we are above 167, it means we are triggering the upper move. That's why we have this momentum levels coming in. If this stock triggers the momentum, this upper trigger level, it's going to go all the way to 173, 178, 182. Okay? So please know how to interpret these things, because I want people to have a visual where this stock is headed. Whether you're using the CPR, you want to see the weekly low and the high, the monthly low and the high. Stocks go back to where they came from. We came from this level, we're going back to that level. Okay, so I really want people to be able to interpret. Don't just write off an indicator and then say, I can't use it, but you need to understand it. This is actually one of the best indicators you can have out there. This is a trigger. The minute you're triggering this, you're holding your puts, you're going down. The minute you're triggering this above the close, you're bullish. The minute you're triggering the upper trigger, you're bullish, expecting bullish continuation. And it's like that you can, for any stock you're trading. Okay, we can look at Lilly. Okay, so we rejected going lower below this. We are still above the upper trigger. Okay, if we had come, so this is where when it reported earnings, it went below the close, but it rejected the lower level trigger, 542. It didn't go back to it. So it went back up. It hit this level. This is post-ER, but it rejected this. It was meant to go to 592, 601, but it hit, I think this was 597 post-ER, and then it came back down. So coming down, if it had gone below 565, and then it would have meant it's going back to this 553. If it goes down, it's going to trigger this. When it's triggering this, you're holding your puts. You're going to all these lower levels. Okay, so just understand you can use whatever you want, but have a visual where this stock is headed. Have a visual. Don't just trade and you're there busy running after 1 minute. No, have a visual, because that's telling you if this stock came from this level, it is going back to that level. You can hold, you can buy time, you can trade with confidence. Even if you're day trading with confidence. Okay, I thought I should mention that so that you guys, I need people to interpret, because we've been bearish. So now we are headed back where we came from. Okay, so you see this one triggered the lower, and you will see if it triggers this lower level, you will see that stock dropping. Okay, if you see a stock triggering the upper, giving an upper trigger level, you see the stock going up. But this close is also an important level. You have to go above it to be bullish. You have to below it, you're bearish. But the minute you're triggering this, you're expecting to hit these lower levels. And this is what happened. when it reported earnings. So if you're looking at a stock for earnings, you can use this indicator to telling you, showing you where you anticipate this stock to go. So pick the one that works for you, CPR. Don't write off SARI. This is just telling you this is triggering. You see, it's the blue one. It's the upper level trigger. It doesn't mean you're waiting for 192 to get calls. No. It is saying if it's rejecting staying below these lower levels, you're going back up to this level, and then you're going back to the close, which is what we did. It hit that. When it goes above, you're holding it to this upper level trigger. If it's above this, I'm holding your calls. I'm in calls. You're not waiting for this level to get calls. No, you're in calls, but now it's telling you hold. You're going to this level, this level, this level, and this level. If it's rejecting, then you're going back to the same levels. Have a view of where a stock is going. Whether you decide to use this, or you're using CPR, or you're using order blocks, or you're using supply and demand. Have a view of where this stock came from and where this stock is headed back to. Okay? Thank you so much.